Hi, everybody. How has it been? I'm about to hit the club.
The passing down flows onto them, the child. Hello, everybody. My name is Linda, and this is Notes on Chosen Family. Our podcast is made under Exporter Team within the project Inclusivity Unlocked 2. And I'm a volunteer in Romania who just wants to learn more about inclusivity. I have my notes here. This podcast is meant to be relaxed, a little bit silly, goofy, but something a little bit educational. This is not a lecture, but a little bit of a research. Today on the pod, we will find answers for following questions. What is a chosen family? What is family in general? What makes a family chosen? And are there any examples? Podcast is created in good faith to expand the knowledge about inclusivity, terminology, definitions, concepts, and attitudes. May change over time. That's why some expressions may not always reflect the most inclusive language. Both the creator, me, and the audience are teachers and students together. Presented content is not intended to offend, discriminate, or harm any individual or group.
Oh my god, new angle. Hello. We have to talk theory. So, back, relax, and feast as this audio suits your nervous system. To explain what family is, I will use the thoughts of Laura W. Kane. She is an associate professor of philosophy and the faculty fellow for equity at Worcester State University. She focuses her studies on family, social phenomena, and feminism. Also, reasonably Hegel's philosophy hater, as we will see further. Last year, 2025, she published a book, The Social Family, Sociality, and the Ethics of Supporting Families, that dwells in on explaining what a family is and what is the purpose of a group that identifies as a family. In general, we have so many notions on what this social group is, but is there a solid definition for it? Like, the first thought of a family is parents with children. So, is this family conventional, conservative, essentialist, patriarchal? Or are we thinking more realistically, where a family is a single mom with children, or maybe married couples without children, but with a dog or two cats? Is family with or without grandparents, cousins, godparents, and in laws? It all seems so foggy, so complicated, but it ought not to be so. Laura argues in her article, What is a Family? Considerations on Purpose, Biology, and Sociality, that first of all, family is a social group, meaning it's a group of people that we would categorize as one of the types of groups socially. Besides family, other social groups are K-pop idol groups, RuPaul's Drag Race cast of a certain season, group that only meets at a church or club, vegans at brunch, grade 9, students that only meet for course on CV writing, and on and on and on. This group of people exists within many other groups. Members can belong to other groups, but the problem is what these certain people, when they are together, why do they form a unique group that can be considered a family?
Laura Mustang writes that we should look at family as a unique social group with a particular primary purpose to provide care in intimate settings for the mutual flourishing of all family members. So, family is a group for who the main reason why they are together is that they take care of each other, but in an environment, space, vibe, mood where they can be more vulnerable, more easily hurt, wounded. She suggests that other approaches to define what family is don't capture the uniqueness that family possesses. The other options, which offer their primary purpose, are not enough to make a family different from any other group. They are not special enough. Let's take a look at them. First proposal. For primary purpose, for a family includes economical aspect. Family is a group that protects private property and ensures that their assets are passed down to particular others. I also think this originally is linked to Kant, one and only Miss Immanuel, when he speaks about natural state for a human, and as soon as it gets involved in society, the notion of private property becomes important, since to exist in a society means to play a game of ties and appearances. But Laura references Hegel's POV, who claims that the family is represented as a legal person that has external reality in property. As such, Hegel argued that the family must have property and assets to be recognized by other families and the state. Basically, you form a group that protects something economically and politically, like social class, property, assets, and etc. Let's take a break from listening. Even my notes need some doodles. Hot take. A thought I had that I will somewhat explain but will not defend further. Knowing that I enjoy learning about ballroom culture, I have never seen the pose. I've heard mixed views, but nonetheless, I will watch it. I sense that this show guides towards a more accepting society, but maybe I'm wrong. Once I watch it, I will give my 2 cents. The second proposal for a primary purpose of a family is that a group is created to pass down knowledge, such as traditions, systematic beliefs, values. So once married, legally bounded to each other party submits to others' value system in order to practice certain traditions together. But once this pair has children, the passing down follows on to the child. Introduction to traditions and their cultivation are seen as a crucial component for maintaining families. From one down to the other, the knowledge flows. It's been taught by family to family orally, by storytelling, singing, poem, and proverb telling. Consistently practicing memory to remember all the details and devoting efforts to teach them to younger generations. Laura mentions that Willem Galston similarly argues that this is a fundamental parental right, claiming that parents have an expressive interest in raising their children in a manner that is consistent with their own beliefs and values. Children are like extension of parents, tradition-wise. If I believe in this religious practice, so should you. If I think loving this type of person is wrong, so should you. Why look for trouble if you can live in ignorant peace maintained by the society we all live in? But we know children go about life by trial and error like all of us. They will go against parents' maintained beliefs at some point in their lifetime. One cannot deny a rebellion, just the strength of resistful wavelength, but parents can choose the questioning of reality. As children grow and develop their own values, provided they are being raised in a healthy, respectful environment, parents may find their values challenged or rebuked.
New angle who? Me. For Laura, these two examples show a concrete commitment and structure that pushes them to sustain the group as it is. That being said, none of these primary purposes are strong enough to distinguish family from other social groups. Her argument against the first proposal is that corporations, businesses, companies also have shareholders, board members that are entrusted with property protection, similarly as government with political positions. Laura writes, cabinet members may stand in a particular relation to a specific political position. The vice president succeeds the president if the president is unable to serve. My 2 cents on this is, if I understood correctly, that cabinet members' primary purpose for sure is not to protect private property in the sense of political status. So this example, although includes a certain lineage of power passing, seems too weak. Yet the former one about business holders, where there is a group of people whose main aim, why they come to work, why they sign contracts similar to marriage, which is also a contract, and why they go extra mile is to protect the business itself, falls under the notion of property protection as the primary reason. The whole point of that group's existence is to make wealth and sustain the process of it. In summary, if the social group is formed for a reason to protect private property, it might as well be a family or board members in a corporate conglomerate.
Let's take a break from listening. Even my notes need some doodles. Hot take. A thought I had that I will somewhat explain but will not defend further. Some Korean male idols loses that energy, meaning they could be great non-toxic dads because they present patience, acceptance, repeating the same information again and again without losing their mind. And they also possess gentleness, softness, and maturity.
As for the traditions and systematic belief proposal, Laura writes that beliefs, values, and traditions can be shared with extremely large social groups such as congregations, communities, and nations. She views tradition sharing as a process that is happening outside of a family. What belief runs in the family also runs on a larger scale. Even so, value sharing from parents to children can be a bonding experience. Parents reveal intimate facts about themselves to children which they would not reveal to others. Knowing all this, not all families pass down beliefs, values, or traditions that bring goodness to members of the family. Traditions might be harmful, oppressive in their nature. They allow for certain family member to abuse power over the other. All this creates an unhealthy power dynamic where one party gains as the other loses just because they commit and practice certain beliefs. And is this still a family? In Laura's POV, yes and no. Because a group of people who exist together and thus suddenly fall under aggressor and victim status with morally problematic relations is a bad family, oppressive one. And her stance is that they don't fulfill the primary purpose of a family, so they just pretend that they are one. She puts it like this: my account holds that an oppressive family is no family at all, since it does not realize the primary purpose of the family, to provide care in intimate settings for the mutual flourishing of all family members. Traditional concept is established despite relationship being morally problematic. Another proposal for a primary purpose for a family is to produce children, as for them to become good future citizens. Socially loaded reasoning. The right moral sentiments, the correct moral psychology are instilled in children through the right kind of relationship with their parents. Crazy. For Laura to be taught as to be a functional citizen, family is not the only source. She mentions family becomes merely one among several institutions for civic education, along with schools, the military, and various civil service programs and proposals. Shout out to unethical residential treatment facilities and camps who torture the underage youth in order to shape them into certain type of future citizen. Period. So there could not be a sufficient reasoning to create a family just to create a good future citizen that has been taught primarily by family members.
Oh, and we do have another proposal. Yes, we do. A group with people are a family if they are biologically related. Guys, this is a big one. Funny, because if this is right, married couple is not a family yet. They share no blood, but as soon as there is a baby, they become a family. Because if a couple adopts a baby, they are still not blood related and cannot be called a family. This cannot be the main reason to determine why this group of persons are a family and nothing else. Laura also mentions that there is a presumption that just because you are biologically related, it necessarily follows that you have a certain care level for the other. If so, why do we have foster houses in the first place? Oh my god. Oh, and what is the facility where elders are being sent because their family doesn't want to take care of them, yet they have money? Retirement house filled with elders, seniors. Even my notes need some doodles. I introduced to you acronym of the episode. Actually, four acronyms. First, BL. Second, GL. Third, WLW. Fourth, MLM. Let me make it clear for you. Bravo Lima, Golf Lima, Whiskey Lima Whiskey, Mike Lima Mike. So after all these proposals, we once returned to Laura's suggestion that we conceive of the family normatively as a social group that is based upon a commitment to interdependent caring relations and the fulfillment of mutual being through those relations. Family should be always available, 24/7 support system to each and every member of it. Laura emphasizes that this support should be running long term. It is a committed relationship between members who regularly practice caregiving and care receiving because they are in a vulnerable environment where they put their guard down, unmask, relax, unwind from all the expectations and appearances. For Laura, a person may choose to stay a part of the family that they were born into, or choose to join a different family that welcomes us, or we may choose to start a new family with others who are similarly situated. She mentions examples such as two prisoners who lived in the same cell, developed intimate care for each other, and continue to care even after being freed, or LGBTQ plus youths who, based on different reasons, decide to come together and to foster care for each other. I think this is a nice segue to look beyond good and bad families to one that are chosen. Like Laura mentioned, people start a new family with ones that share the same aspects of experiencing life and develop care for each other for long term. This is basically, in my humble opinion, the definition of chosen family. And for such, one particular instance comes to mind. Emerging ballroom scene with drag houses in New York, Harlem from 1960s till 1980s. House of La Beija, House of Avis Pendavis, House of Dupree. We enter Queer Zone, a community built by people that at the time were rejected by their families, socially demonized, demoralized, and marginalized. Up until this moment, there were women impersonation / drag queen pageants, which had a racist tone in them. And in order to feel more safe and free, POC queer communities started to organize their own balls with their own houses. And these houses consist of a mother or father who take care of their children. And yes, it holds family dynamics because it is a family. A parental matriarchal figure serves as a guidance, as a protector, teacher, role model, as a support system for neglected children. And yes, they practice a certain tradition, which is an affair, a ball, where you can get attention from everyone, even if it's just for a few minutes. You are seen as you are. You are seen. And you can get prizes by being creative, confident, glamorous, proud, elegant, masculine, feminine, and on and on and on. Another similarity with families is children taking the name of the house to announce publicly to which group they belong to. Yes, here we have protecting traditions aspect mentioned before, but the main reason for this type of relationships, let's not forget, is caregiving, care receiving, support, love by being your most vulnerable self without masks, closets, suppression, and pretending. Any other group defining aspects are secondary purpose. Venus from Paris's Burning Outtakes mentioned that being in the house is not being in a loving family at all. They also have discords, dramas, conflicts, and that's why Venus doesn't hang out with them. Not all chosen families are drag families. Chosen family is an open term, open definition, it's still forming. Like Laura mentioned with two cellmates and just now drag houses. It can also be soldiers by training, experiencing things together. They bond so much that no matter the situation, they will take care for each other. They will show up, help, and ask nothing in return. And not because they are good friends, but because they have found each other in vulnerable moments, went through challenges together, and intend to stay in this type of relations for long term. It might seem that I actually just wanted to talk about family in general, but I wanted to know what it is so I would understand why chosen family is a family. We all get the chosen part, yes, but what makes it a family is the real riddle, real recognition. There is like a twisted notion of what family is, and once we get the clear definition of it, we can start to build laws according to what it should be.
This is off script, but today I had an amazing experience with Mosaic, who explained how to build a community from which you, if you're lucky, you can get to be a part of a chosen family. But it starts with community. And they showed us these circles where the community starts with already existing circle, which is strong enough to trust with each other so they can even invite more people, but the core doesn't change. And by inviting more people, they create this community where community themselves can find friends and create their own cores, their own trusts. But there is this like safe space where to find them. And it takes a courage to go out to an event and see what is happening. There are events, there are people. Like I imagine like when you play video games with multiplayers online, not all teams will be good. You have to find your one, right?
Thank you for joining. It is time to end this trip into my notes and findings, random thoughts and side notes. This was Notes on Chosen Family. Stay kind, don't gossip, sleep well, and bye. 2 notes, 1 note, 3 notes. 1, 2, 3, da, 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 da. Period.
Conglomerate, conglomerate, conglomerate. You get the point.
I'm reading like a sermon or something, child. Serve what?
Next page. And that's on that.
Corporate, conglomerate, 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 conglomerate. Meow, 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 meow. Yep, it's gone. Is my phone still alive? I wrote in my notes, Mike Lima Lima. MLL. What was the pyramid schemes had MLM, no? Oh, child. That this is vocab from POC queer community. Alyssa Liu who?